Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing the GeForce RTX 4080 in the finals. This one is the Founders Edition model of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers as usual, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power Up's GPU-Z. Resizable bar is enabled. It has 16 gigs of GDDR6X memory, and over on the left, we're pairing it with a 13th Gen i5 13600K, overclocked to 5.6 GHz and 4.1 in the E-cores. Over in the memory tab, we're running 32 gigabytes of DDR5 at 6000 MHz, and if you are interested in more specs, they're down below in the description. Let's get into it, shall we? Alright, so we're here in the practice range, just so I can show you a few things and go over settings and stuff like that. We're gonna play a proper game in just a little bit. Speaking of, let's go over the settings. First, I'm playing at 4K resolution using the reflex enabled. TAAU resolution scaling first at 100% resolution scale, so it is native 4K at the moment. It's pretty weird, this game. It doesn't allow you to disable the resolution scaling method. It's either TAAU, Nvidia DLSS on DLAA, which is like DLAA. It's not really DLSS, I guess, because it's not upscaling anything. You can, of course, use quality, balanced, performance, and ultra performance, or auto, as usual. You then have FSR2, which has the quality, balanced, performance, and ultra performance presets, and Intel XeSS. So the normal upscaling technologies are all here, and I'm starting with this at 100% because it is native resolution. It also performs a little bit better than DLAA in this game, about like 3 to 4 FPS higher using TAAU. FOV set to 95, motion blur disabled, of course. And the other interesting setting here is ray tracing. Ray tracing in this game is on, and you can't turn it off. It's either static, dynamic low, dynamic medium, dynamic high, and dynamic epic. And I haven't really seen a major difference in FPS using this on dynamic low all the way through epic, so I'll set it to dynamic epic. You can't disable it in DirectX 12, which is weird, but the game is still in early access, so maybe on a future update they will fix that. If you set it to DirectX 11, it will disable ray tracing completely. And finally, on the quality settings, we're using everything maxed out, which is the default for the 4080 anyways. You can see that at native 4K resolution using the DirectX 12 and ray tracing, we are seeing 60-ish frames per second here. I'm gonna explode a few things. Come on, there we go. The fire effects in this game are just amazing, by the way, and explosions and stuff. Look at that, it's dropping into the 50s already. So it gets pretty intensive whenever there are explosions around you and stuff like that, and fire, basically. And now let's see a little bit of destruction as well. This is beautiful in this game. Didn't really drop our FPS there, as you could see, so that's nice. Yeah, just taking a look at this part of the practice range map. It gets 70s with a few drops here and there into the this is nice, guys. I like it. What the heck? Into the 50s, okay? So I'm gonna say that this is not the best experience ever in terms of FPS, because in a first-person shooter, you really want to keep it above 60 all of the time, and honestly, it looks almost the same using DLSS on quality, and it bumps up our FPS like crazy. Instead of getting 60s, we're now getting lower 100s and 90s and stuff like that. So this is a much better option to play this game with, and it looks the same to me, and I'm on a 42-inch 4K monitor, so DLSS, just enable that, okay, please, in this game. It looks really, really good, and it performs amazingly now. With that said, I'm gonna leave the game, and I'm gonna play a proper one now. All right. Ooh, this is nice. Okay, we're starting in an area with a lot of vegetation. I'm gonna start counting our FPS right now, the averages and 1% lows. It's looking really gorgeous, actually. That lighting and the textures, I just wish things were a little bit more dynamic with the wind and stuff, but there is a little bit of wind. So far, so good, you know. Ray tracing is enabled. It's actually performing quite decently with 90-something FPS. Let's kill these guys. Nice double kill. Okay, I'll take it. What the hell is that? That is so weird. Yeah, I gotta say that the graphics look really impressive. It's also super vibrant with these colors here. It looks nice, guys. Okay, and it performs decently given that ray tracing is enabled and everything else, you know. The only thing that we're using here to improve the FPS is DLSS on quality. It also has DLSS frame generation, which is quite nice, and it will definitely improve your FPS by a crazy amount. We'll test that in just a little bit, of course. There we go. Nice. We made it. Good stuff. Now we just stand here protecting this, I guess? Maybe? Let's go down here then. I like the little particles flying around everywhere. This is pretty impressive, graphically speaking. Not gonna lie. Alright, well, you know what? Sir, I need you to die, please. Thank you. No, I'm detected. No, okay. Oh, there's no fall damage. That's right. Come on. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Do I need... Oh, I don't have another weapon. Aside from the RPG, of course. So it's a little bit more intensive here than it was in the other playground area, you know. Come on, come on! Damn it! Oh my god, so many shots missed there. The frame time is actually stable. It's a little bit of a breath of fresh air to see a game in early access in 2023 that doesn't really stutter too much. At the beginning, we saw a few stuttering issues as it was loading things, but now it's actually really solid. I've also seen that with DirectX 11 and no ray tracing enabled, we gain about 20 frames per second or so. So I'll test that out in just a little bit. Should we try it with frame generation? Let's see. Does it apply instantly? Yes, it does. Oh, that's good. Oh, wait a second. Something that is not good is the input lag. I can feel a bit more input lag, guys. This is what worried me when Nvidia first introduced frame generation. The input lag in first-person shooters that are competitive, yeah, it's a little bit noticeable. I could feel that it was a bit more responsive, let's say, without frame generation enabled. You do get more FPS and it will feel smoother on a higher refresh rate panel. I'm using 60 Hz, by the way, because of the capture card. It can't do more than that at 4K, unfortunately. There was a little stutter, by the way. But yeah, I'm not sure. I would probably not utilize the frame generation in this one, guys. Oh boy, wait. All right. It does a good job, of course, at not getting low FPS. Oh my god, what am I talking about? Let's go. Let's go. Let's use this. Oh, how the heck did he not die? What the hell? No, there's another one here. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out. Let's regenerate the health. Okay, there's a guy here. Come on. Come on. Damn, these guys take a while to die, dude. All right, but it's fun. Let's talk a little bit about the VRAM usage as well as the RAM usage. RAM seems to be absolutely fine. If you have a 12 gigabyte system or 16 gigabyte system, it's gonna be okay. You don't need 32. VRAM wise, it was utilizing around 8 gigabytes, I think, maybe a little bit less than that. At 4K DLSS quality, not native, and the ray tracing, all the bells and whistles enabled. And with the frame generation enabled, it consumes about like 1.9 or 2 gigabytes more VRAM than it did previously. So this is all right, I guess. Frame generation sometimes uses a ton more VRAM. And I have seen the 4070 Ti get VRAM bound when using frame generation at 4K. Oh, this is way better without aiming down sights. Again, guys, you get around 20 more FPS than without FG enabled. If Nvidia manages to lower that input lag even further, I would actually utilize it because it made the frame time graph a lot smoother. It was flatter, but in this state at least, I would just disable it. It was already a really good experience without it. Let's move on to like 1440p, I guess. And first of all, let's enable TAAU, resolution scale 100%. So this is native resolution again at 1440p resolution, epic settings. Apply that. All right, here we go. Start counting the FPS. 120s, 130 at times. Oh boy. This is interesting. All right, so we run a little bit faster with the medium build, I think. There are Few enemies there. I'm gonna go, actually. So this performance is not really that great, but you gotta remember that ray tracing is enabled, and that is obviously a super performance hog. It drops your performance like crazy. Okay, this is a bad idea. He has an RPG. Let's stay with our friends this time around. That's a good idea. There are a few enemies there. We should throw a grenade. Let's go. Another one. Yes. Come on. I see a couple of enemies. Can we get that one? Come on, dude. What the heck? There is foam. He's just shooting foam around. Show yourselves. Well, we got an assist. That was nice. Can we take the zip line, please? Thank you. Let's go. Up there. Come on. Just die already. What the heck? What are you doing? Alright. Our boys are dead. Maybe I should just go and try to save them. No, 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 no. Please regenerate the health. We should probably try this out. Whoa! Whoa! What the heck? Where you come from? Using DLSS, alright. Let's go. DLSS on quality, apply that. I mean, from a card like this, I was actually expecting it to be a bit faster. But it's all because of ray tracing. If they just introduce a toggle and we can toggle it off using the X12 at the same time, it will be fine. Or if you just use DLSS, it will be fine as well, as you can see. And now we're starting to see a bit of GPU usage fluctuation. I think what's happening here is ray tracing is also super CPU intensive at the same time as it is GPU intensive. So even at 1440p with DLSS quality, if you are using ray tracing in this game, you can see a CPU bottleneck. This is what I was scared about. You actually need a very beefy CPU to play this game with RT enabled, and you can't disable RT in the X12. So it's kind of a shame, honestly. Of course, you can use DLSS frame generation to get rid of the CPU bottleneck, and I'm probably gonna end up doing that because I don't like to see fluctuations GPU usage, you know? Of course, it doesn't really hinder the experience, the fluctuations, but I'm testing GPU here, so I want no fluctuations. Okay, now at 1440p, the input lag bump is not as noticeable. Actually, I'm not really noticing any difference whatsoever. And I'm very, very prone to noticing differences in input lag. Like in CSGO, for example, I have 2,000 hours on it, and I can tell a ton of input lag introduction whenever the game drops from 60 FPS. Damn it, man. I guess whenever you get to that 200 FPS zone in terms of average FPS, with frame generation, the input lag just doesn't really matter too much, honestly. I can say if you want to get a competitive advantage in this game and run the game a little bit smoother, just crashed. But as I was saying, if you want the game to be a bit smoother, without as much stuttering, and with a slight bump in input lag that is not noticeable whatsoever, use these settings at 1440p. It gets insanely high FPS, basically. I think we should now disable DLSS once again, 4K TAAU on 100%, and now you can see that the ray tracing can't be changed because it is disabled with DirectX 11. Everything else is still on Epic though, and I'm gonna go ahead and join the practice range again so we can see the FPS difference in that scenario. And remember, guys, we were seeing around like 64 FPS, I think, previously in the X12 with ray tracing enabled at native resolution, and now we're in the 80s and even touching 90s at times in this particular scenario right here. So yeah, you do get a bit higher FPS without RT, to be expected obviously. Can still drop into the 60s and 50s, as you can see, near fire effects. Things don't change by that much. What the heck, we died. Okay. It still stutters just a little bit, but probably because things were still loading and stuff. I'm gonna go heavy build again because that guy has a ton of health and we need it. Oh, nice. We can actually directly compare things because we started in the exact same place. So it's getting around 60s here because it's at native resolution and not utilizing DLSS. And we were using DLSS on quality previously when we started the online play. And now with DLSS quality without ray tracing, ooh, that stutter was bad. And DirectX 11, it's Oh my god, it is more unstable. It's getting around the same FPS on average, and it's stuttering like hell. Dude, that is not good. The DX12 performance was way better. Look at this. Oh, it's because it's CPU bound. I just noticed that 4K DLSS quality, the CPU becomes a bottleneck in the system. GPU usage is not maxed out. Look at that, 80%. Yeah, this was clearly not optimized to run the X11, guys. I thought it was gonna be a bit of a savior, CPU performance-wise, because, you know, RT is now disabled, so it should be more GPU-bound. But it is the opposite. Again, it's still in early access. Maybe they just didn't really put the love into optimizing the X11, which is kind of understandable because a lot of games don't even come with the DX11 toggle anymore. This is probably more for older GPUs. Let's go back to DX12 then. I don't like this. We need to restart, of course. Now, I imagine they will allow us to disable ray tracing in this game with an update, but for the time being, this is what we get. I think I'm just gonna try it with dynamic low next and like low settings to see how much we can push that 13600K, you know? All right, this is it, guys. We're playing around on low settings now with 170 up to 200 FPS over here. That's insane, actually. Oh, come on. I expected a huge explosion. Yeah, look at that. Down into the 130s with the explosion. So much better performance than what we were seeing previously. We're still using DLSS on quality, by the way. Oh, what? This is such a different place to start. Interesting. Now, you can see, even on the lowest settings, we are CPU bound at 4K DLSS. Oh, no. This fall damage will happen. Yep. But yeah, you can see the GPU usage is not maxed out. Even at low settings, I think because ray tracing is still enabled and that's very taxing on the CPU, so they definitely need to fix that, guys. Allow us to disable ray tracing completely, please. Also, dropping the resolution at this point won't do anything at all because it's already CPU bound, so the FPS would end up being the same. This guy's invisible, what the hell? Oh! We just died again. What the heck? As I was saying, dropping the resolution won't do anything at all because, again, we are CPU bound. GPU usage would just end up being lower and we'd end up with the same FPS. So 160 on average or so is what you can expect if you don't use frame generation. Now, if you do use frame generation, let's see, input lag-wise, it's a little bit worse, but manageable, I guess. But once again, in a first-person game, you really want to keep that disabled. And it doesn't really improve our FPS by too much. It does, however, remove the CPU bottleneck completely. As you can see, GPU usage is now pegged at 99% all of the time. So it's great in that regard. Again, if they manage to fix the input lag issue, this will be absolutely amazing technology. Because it just essentially removes CPU bottlenecks. Yeah, anyway, I think that's been it for this one, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. I will keep you posted in whether or not they will fix that ray tracing option and allow us to turn it off completely in a future update. Check like a pinned comment or so. I'll probably put it there if I don't have an answer previously and put it in the video with a note or something. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.